welcome to this month's Ask the Dropout for the month of March.
This is actually technically take 3.
Yeah, take 3. Yeah, definitely. A lot of problems. Hopefully, there's no problems this one. And this month, we have a really awesome guest that we'll get to in a little bit. But of course, if you guys don't know what Ask the Dropouts is, it is our monthly video podcast type of show. Yeah. And I'm here with Stephanie Pham, host of Ask the Dropouts.
I'm more so like the video jockey that handles
and I am the co-host, Joey Min. Hope you guys follow us on our socials. But yeah, so just to give you guys an update, I mean, what have you been doing this month?
Working. So much work. I mean, we're always working. I realize we're always either in. Actually, we're always in
overlapping
production and post-production.
Yeah.
It's
just overlap. I think I'm happy with that. Now we're slowly ramping things up. And even though we are in production, it's not like we're working with other people yet. We're still in the group trying to, bolster our safety measures.
Yeah, slowly but surely. We're just getting used to it, practicing, safe procedures and whatnot. But yeah, I guess for the month of April, just for you guys. So we have some really cool things coming up. Obviously, you have content coming out next month. But our bow shirt will be on sale for you guys for our Senpai collection. Yeah. So check that out for the month of April, as well as next month we will be on location elsewhere.
Ooh, elsewhere. So this would be a different set. So you can see it's have the family here. So yeah, definitely we're not gonna be here next month, and we're gonna be filming somewhere else. But hopefully we'll be able to get really good content out there wherever we are.
Yep. So we'll be probably doing Ask the Dropouts there as well, and if you guys are interested in behind the scenes, we will be posting them up for all of our patrons on our Discord. You guys will get to see on. I guess
the moment we're doing something, we really upload
real-time updates.
Right. So I think so that's what's coming up for next month. But this month, hopefully, you guys haven't gotten bored with the vlogs. I know, like I said, I say this every time. Yeah. I don't think our vlogs are that entertaining.
I think the out of context one was pretty funny.
But the one in context, the actual meaning for the whole reason why we filmed those things wasn't funny at all. And I think it was funnier to just have whatever the dumb shit that
we were trying to go to all these fried chicken places. It was not entertaining.
There was a reason. Eating. Well, it did. It was the precursor for a particular show that might be coming out next month.
Oh yeah. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Right. So you guys will see that soon. But I really don't know how these vloggers did that shit every day.
No, I don't know.
Some vloggers have made it. That's you guys are. My life is boring. But yeah, so that's really what it is. So yeah,
we did have the no cameraman fight scene, the taekwondo style.
Yes, I really hope that for everybody or for the ITF people that's been watching, I really hope that you guys appreciate it. I am not a practitioner. I don't know much about it. Other than, what I asked for stuff and stuff, but
That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
And I choreographed it specifically for, as much traditional taekwondo as I can, because I don't see any traditional taekwondo fight scenes at all.
When you see fight scenes that are taekwondo, it's just a lot of kicking, but there's more than just kicking.
Yeah, or trick kicks.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have the stances.
Okay, ITF taekwondo, we don't... the ones that I know, we don't really do a lot of trick kicks because we train for competition, so everything is competition based. When Joey's asking me, hey, can you jump and tuck your legs when you're doing this kick? Competition wise, I wouldn't. I would just hover on the ground.
I'm a grounded kung fu guy too, so I don't do a lot of I don't overspin my jump spin kicks. I just try to hit it and land really solid on the floor. So I get it.
You're vulnerable in the air.
So yeah, I did take some ideas from WTF, but ultimately I really wanted to show the concepts of ITF. So a lot of the choreography, kind of sparring. So And also, I watched a lot of the World
Did
Championships.
a lot of research.
So yeah, so shout outs to the New Zealand ITF team. You guys gave me a lot of ideas
New
on how to.
Zealand, like Poland,
Yeah.
like, just basically all the countries.
So what is it, like 2-man forms? What's that called?
Pre-arranged sparring.
Pre-arranged sparring. I got a lot of ideas from there. Thank you for showing. I guess it's a really good translation of how you use the traditional moves. But anyways, I don't want to really yammer on about this because we have a really awesome guest, and he talked in length.
Yeah.
And I think that's really awesome.
And we need to bring him back.
Definitely.
For future ones. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So let's get on with the interview.
Pointing this way?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But guys, wait. Of course, we got to shill you something. Got to pay the bills. But before we get into the interview, please, if you guys want to support us, please consider being a patron on our Patreon. You know, we have perks and stuff, but I'm sure it's stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty much my baby now. I take care of it. So I have all of these perks available for you guys, whether it's like promo codes for our more classic merch or even our tutorial series. I have promo codes as well, depending on the tier that you sign up for. And we post up behind the scenes and we put those on our Discord. So our Discord is open to everyone, but we do have Patreon only Discord chats and channels, so that way when we're on set, we just post them up, and you guys get to see behind the scenes in real time, get to talk to us, get to talk to other people on our Discord, and it's really awesome. And then I also do this thing once a month where I give you guys, well, it's the ASDO Real Talk. This is at the Masterclass tier, where I actually show you guys and I talk to you guys about all the things that are coming up, all the things that Joey and I were working on, show you guys the script, show you guys just pitch decks and behind the scenes, and I go real in depth of the nitty gritty, the non-glamorous part of production.
The Steph only show on Patreon.
Basically, and it's this
real talk.
Yeah, it's just real talk of what's going on and the struggles that we go through.
Right, and if you guys don't want to help us on Patreon, there's other ways. Another one is Fractured Atlas.
Yeah, so if you guys, especially those that are US based, because this would really apply to you guys, if you are interested in making a tax deductible donation, check out our Fractured Atlas, because we are fiscally sponsored by Fractured Atlas, a arts nonprofit organization. So we do have some tiers on there as well, but check it out. All your donations, actually any of the funds that we get through Patreon, merch, Fractured Atlas, goes straight into the productions that you guys see on our YouTube channel. So it really helps us out into feeding cast crew, getting PPEs now because they're expensive, just getting all of those supplies to make sure that we're safe. And
feeding us.
Feeding us
and helping us keep our channel alive. Yeah, please consider it. Thank you very much. And now, on to the interview.
Walking this way.
We're gonna.
Hey guys, welcome to Ask the Dropouts. It is our monthly, video podcast. And this month we actually have our good friend Jose Manuel from Puerto Rico as our special guest. So,
hi guys, how's it going? I'm excited to be with you guys here, obviously, and very grateful for the invitation.
Oh, dude,
So.
of course. I mean, we actually tried reaching out to you last year, but you got so busy.
I remember. Well, busy is just part of it, sometimes it gets hectic as well. You're trying to do this creative stuff while at the same time you need to integrate yourself to normal society. So it's not easy sometimes,
For everybody that doesn't know who you are, could you give us introduce yourself?
I'm just a normal guy from Puerto Rico. I was born in 1988, so that you can just do the math and you can get my age. I'm turning 33 soon, but the thing is that I 20. That's you have to ¿cómo se dice? Take some numbers out of the real number. Anyway, going back to this. Oh, I got a little nervous there. Oh my God, what was that? It's been a while since I've been interviewed. Apparently, wow, that's crazy. Anyway.
Okay, well, about the interviews, just want to give update to people here, just very quickly. One of the biggest things that you've done recently, just want to start you off, right? Is Yes. All right. Go ahead. Go
See,
ahead.
I'm
Got
so
it.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I keep interrupting. Okay,
No, no,
let's
no,
just start from the
You go,
beginning.
you go. Come
Mira,
on.
okay. So when I was a kid, when I was in school, I loved action movies, just like all of us. You know, we grew up watching these movies, and that for some reason they inspire you, they ignite something in you. And I realized that there was a pattern. Like most of the people that pursue this career, for some reason they felt inspired in the same way, you know, and they start saying like, I want to do that. And it's like a spark. You really can't explain it, and there's no one in, at least in my case here in Puerto Rico, culturally, it is not part of my culture. So we don't martial art. It is not part of my culture. Nothing that I do is known in my culture. So what I tried is first and foremost understand the practice, right? Trying to know how to build the fight scenes, obviously build the fight sequences. That is the core of everything that we do, right? So after that, I ended up trying to understand narrative and ended up in the communication school. And then after that, you know, I started pursuing it like a real thing. Like I want to do action movies and be an actor and represent the genre in any way that I can. And that I ended up trying to do it. And eventually I had a couple of shots that just bring me here.
That's a very very quick version of how you
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
here.
I mean, I could go in depth, you know, obviously saying that I wasn't really, I'm really very pretty much like an introvert. A lot of people really don't believe that, but I am, you know, at the core of my being, I am an introvert. It's very hard for me, you know. I had to learn how to express myself. I had to be consciously, you know, rehearsing my own interviews and rehearsing my own thing. It doesn't come natural, even though people, you know, I mean, probably because of the time that I've invested on it. And now people sometimes say like it doesn't come across, but sometimes, you know, just like now, you know, at some point I could just go blank for no apparent reason, you know,
Right.
and that's because of my nature, you know. That's the one, and that's the real me inside, you know.
I think that's a common trait for more like creatives. I feel like,
I
and not
think
like,
so.
yeah, it's like more on the creative side and not the performer side. I think the performers obviously they have to be not an introvert, but I think we spend a lot of time in our own universe creating whatever worlds and stories. That's why it's hard. It's
Now
easier
that
for
you,
you know.
wow, the
I
way that
think
you present that, no, but the way that you present it, it's very, very cool that you say it that way, because that brings me to another thought, and it's the fact that even though I am an actor, most of the times, or pretty much 98% of the times, the most comfortable I am acting is when I am directing. And that is probably because you are, as an introvert, you get insecure. You know, it's a normal thing. Like someone else is grabbing the camera, then you're like, oh my god, I'm probably gonna look bad now. You know,
right because
it's
you
just part.
see
It's
it.
just part of it. It's in your head, and I've tried to little by little. It's being hard. Obviously, I like to see like the filmmakers work at least before I work with them. And even on set, I'm like, oh my god, and I know that this shot, you know, will add up to other shots, and that the person in his head, they have the idea, not me. So I need to let it go. But I'm so used to doing it myself that when I'm there, it's like it's so hard for me to just let it go. And to believe it or not, that really worked against me in many ways, because sometimes I've had acting jobs in which I mean, I don't have fun at all, or at the very end,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm probably not gonna work with these people again. So it's very hard as an introvert to
Ooh,
understand that you can't control real life. You can only control your movies.
right. Oh my gosh. Because eventually I want you in front of my camera, and I
Yeah.
hope
No,
you
but
don't
that
ever. No, I'm
right.
never.
But obviously, you know, like I said, I really, when I see a filmmaker's work, I already know. You
Oh,
already know, and if you have experience, you see how they do it, and you already know. There are other filmmakers that you see their style, and you know how. Now with experience, I also know. Well, I know how I can adapt to that style.
I
So
see.
it's very, my approach is like, I want to see the filmmakers work first, just to see how, in terms of, you know, intuition, how my being or the way that I express myself is gonna work with, or how much of me I have to let go right from, so that I can, align to this person or whatever they want to do. So it's a process for me. I know that there are many other actors. I've talked to other actors that they say no, whatever they say I do, whatever they bring I'll adapt, whatever they ask I will try to bring, because I think that probably their aspiration is to fulfill the director's vision,
Right.
and that is your responsibility as an actor. I can do that when I prepare myself in advance, knowing that where I'm going I have no control. It just takes a
Right.
little bit time and I like to communicate with people very clear. That's another thing that I love. Like, I don't take things personally if people just are clear about it. Sometimes, for example, people will ask something from me at a given point after they said that the conditions were specific, right? And we already have some terms. So now we are on set, and they're asking something different. And when I say something different, it's something that you rarely can compromise. For example, things that it's like, how, I mean, we didn't talk about this in advance, and now you want to do this. And probably because I'm not making any example, I don't want you guys to think, oh my god, there's gonna be like the stupid thing like he didn't wanted apples and we brought oranges. It's not like that. I mean, I'll eat whatever. And
Oh yeah,
and believe it or yeah. Yeah,
no,
go ahead.
no, I was just saying, like, for us, we're pretty free flowing, even though it is a bit
Claro.
strict.
Yeah.
I think this time around, I think I'm a little more. I don't know. I think I've leaned in more with the pre-production. I guess like hearing what you're talking about, how planning and everything on the director side, on the production side. Are you one of those people that do you like having an extended pre-production while you?
Well, it used to be not. It used to be let's go film. But when I started doing bigger projects, I realized that those projects were expressing something that had more depth, right? And since
Okay.
it's had more depth, then I'm like, well, if I want to at least um, make the audience understand that whatever I want to express, it's still on this depth, right? Then I will have to pre-produce my next project, and the focus it's not now even on the fighting. It is
Right.
on the depth of the project. And when I say depth, I'm talking about probably leaning more towards character.
Yes.
I want people to at least, see me and say he looks different now. He's doing something else. And I've been, in Man from Kathmandu, for example, I was doing like a serious character. Was like so stoic,
Yeah.
not many expressions. I'm not like that in real life. And I want to. This last project that I'm doing, I'm trying to lean towards that character that was more like my younger version of me when I was like 18, 19. And I'm still look a little bit like the same. So I think it's the perfect time for me to take that risk and
Yeah.
do something that, to be honest, man, I would have loved, like at 18, 19, 20, for some director to just call me and say, hey, I like your look. I like your personality. I want to do something with you. And it happened with The Witness, but I was not prepared to act the way that I wanted. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a process, of learning. And I look back, probably because of being an introvert as well. You need to overthink it. You need to analyze yourself. How
Always.
am I going to do
Always.
it better next time? Let me see my previous video. You continue watching. There are other people that they just let go. I'm not going to watch that. If I don't watch how I did it before, I don't know how I'm going to make it better next time. So I'm always studying. I'm always watching films. Just like I'm a nerd, man. I train.
Exactly.
I go to the trampoline park and all that, but plenty of my work is right here in my brain.
Oh yeah, I
So
think people don't realize how much research and study it takes to actually do this, right? And like exactly what you're saying too. It's like I think before when I also wanted to just hey, let's just film. And the one thing that like Steph really disliked when we first started doing things is I just went out and filmed. There's no pre-production, but now because of well, I want something more quality now, right? It's not just
Right.
I don't want it to just be like this a typical like since we do a lot of action, I just don't want everything to just be an action fight scene. I want some narrative piece to it, right? And like
Right.
recently we finished a few things, but it's like for me, it's like, oh man, I really wanted to go back and add a bit more narrative to it because it's just I just want something more,
One thing that I like about the style that you guys do is that, and I know that you're aware of this, is the fact that you guys are, it just feels different. It is different from everything else that people show online. That's the route that I like to take. Even sometimes it's very risky. In my case, for example, I'm shooting something right now that action-wise is it's relying on something very different than technique, So I'm like changing the way I choreograph things. Like, I don't know if for good, but I'm changing the strategy, and I'm like, I see stuff that people post online, other groups, other people, very talented people, a lot of crazy martial artists, very technical, but for some reason, the only thing that I see is that it just looks so much the same, right? You don't feel that it is different from other. That sometimes even the groups, they look alike, right?
Yeah.
That you can't identify, or is this group or is this other group? You don't know how to tell the style, right? But your style is different, and my style, I think that looks like yours in the sense that I like to, at least up until this point, and probably change my style later on again. But I like to have those, nicely framed shots, compositions. People know where they're standing. And one thing that you're doing recently that I'm doing too that I love is that you're taking advantage of the 360 technology, which is
fucking love it. Love that camera. I mean,
it
for
is
a while,
perfect for introverts.
yeah, right. Because I don't need to worry about a cameraman. I could just hold it, and I'll be my own cameraman afterwards. I get it, honestly. Like, I think we've been using it for vlogging for like a year now. But then I think because of pandemic and restrictions of meeting people, just using it as at first I was like, oh man, this would work really well as using for previs or storyboard. Then I just realized, oh my god, I'm my own cameraman too. Like, this is amazing. Love it.
I recently recently I storyboarded a fight that I'm going to shoot. I haven't shot it yet, but I storyboarded the whole thing alone with the 360. The whole thing, every beat, every moment. They should actually, because
Sponsor all of us.
Yeah,
You too.
oh, that would be great. I mean, there's one thing I think, to be honest, if the traditional way of filming, it's going to keep like the way it is, taking away the VR situation. Now we're talking about technology, but I think that filmmaking in the future, everything should be just the 360 camera everywhere, a very high quality 360 camera that you can just reframe, place anywhere with a super 180-degree lens or a 360-degree lens in which you can pan and do all these crazy things without in post.
Right, exactly.
And then every time when you do shapes, you jump and you do a shape, right? Like you kick or whatever. With the 360, I just jump. I don't frame nothing, and then I just look for the framing of the shape, and it's so perfect.
Right.
I don't need. And it's not that I don't want a camera person to do it for me. It's just that we're gonna waste time trying to do it well.
Right.
So why would we even bother?
Yeah. It's actually kind of funny because you can get those really crazy angles. Because like recently,
perfect frames.
Yeah. So what do you call it too? I think I had this idea, and I want to try it actually soon with Steph. It's like I want to actually put the 360 on on balloons, but have a weight on it, and just kind of like throw it and see whatever angles I have ideas for it. I think it'll be fun, so maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that you can come up with the craziest shots. And
Yeah.
for storyboarding, what I love about it for storyboarding is that, your frame in the storyboard just needs to be like almost to the finished frame. You don't have to
Right.
have it perfectly, but you can place yourself exactly in the the space in the frame where you want
Yeah,
to be. And
exactly.
whoever sees it afterwards is going to say, I know exactly what you want. And framing it with a normal camera, it is that. I mean, I don't know if I've been doing this for the past couple of months, I think. And it's perfect, man. I just focus on fighting,
Yeah,
literally. I just
it's
focus on, because
oh,
when you have a set frame like this, for example, see, I know that I can just only here, right?
right,
Or here or whatever. But
right.
if this is a full thing, I just jump, kick, whatever, and then I just reframe. Oh, I like how it looks when I'm there, and I like how it looks when I'm over here. And I start,
Thinking
just, it's
you
so free.
give you a lot
It's
of
so free.
ideas, right? It really
Yeah.
does. Yeah, well, okay. Well, besides that, I know we were talking about like technology
Wow.
and stuff, right? But like films, like I know we mentioned, you've been a filmmaker for a while, and like, for people here on the chat that don't know, even though people are kind of mentioning it, the man from Kathmandu is like one of your. Well, it
Right.
wasn't your film, but you starred in this feature film, right? But besides all of that, under
Right.
your new name of like Swashbuckler Studios, as you said, you're kind of reinventing yourself. Like, could you tell us like all of the other projects that you've been proud of that
Yeah.
you've been part of or done?
Actually, Swashbuckler, it's something that every time people say the name, I really smile because it's a really personal thing for me. I started researching a lot during the pandemic. A lot of us did, but some of us, you guys probably included, were doing this long researches and in filming, like we always do, right? We look at a video, we look at something else, and we keep on. But I was looking a lot about the story of filming and the history of action movies. And I went back and realized that one of the first action movies, 1921, was El Zorro by Douglas Fairbanks. And Douglas Fairbanks was it was like okay, so it was like this trio of people. It was Chaplin, Mary Pickford, and Douglas Fairbanks. They were the creators of the Academy of Motion Pictures and Sciences.
Mm.
So we have an action actor, a comedian, and a lead female lead that were the top people at that time, right? So they created the United Artists, and then eventually they created the Academy of Motion Pictures and Sciences, in which Douglas Fairbanks eventually said, "I don't want to be a part of," because it became a award show and it wasn't an academy. It was originally meant to be a
Oh.
real academy to teach film, right? So I realized for the longest time we hear Jackie Chan talking about he talks about Buster Keaton, he talks about Chaplin, and he
Yeah.
talked about all these names. And being in a way a comedian at heart, I obviously looked at the influences of Jackie Chan, obviously, because that's the you always start with the one that presents you the gift in your generation, right? When I
Right, right,
talk
right.
with when I would talk with Marco, I would talk to Marco, and Marco, what's the movie that changed your life? He would say, Enter the Dragon, right?
I see.
So, but years later, right? I'm younger than Marco, so obviously most of the people of our generation, they always say Jackie, and you see that they are very similar. We all have influences from him, even if it's a little bit or from that era. So I realized that it was kind of like this little pattern thing. But when I went back and I said, well, Jackie talks about Buster Keaton and I like Keaton, all that, but then I started looking at Douglas Fairbanks and I realized that I think this guy's a little bit more like me. He's a little bit of a comedian, but he's not always a comedian. And he is more like an action oriented thing. He's fighting the bad guys, but he's always smiling. And then I was
Right,
like, that's how I feel when I fight. I don't
right,
feel when I'm film fighting. I feel happy. We're joyful. So
Mm.
I want to have the opportunity to express a character within that context that can make me that I can just be able to smile while I fight, because that's exactly what I'm feeling when I'm doing it. So I'm rebranding all this swashbuckler thing to bring back what I think was the heart of the action movies. That was like fun. It
Right.
is really was not violent. It wasn't violent.
Yeah.
The
You know,
violence
Yeah,
came afterwards.
yeah,
You
and
know,
I think that's
totally agree.
exactly, you know, in a weird way, yeah, that's actually kind of what we're trying to do too, but like also, well, you know, in a different way that you're doing. But yeah, like I really did never wanted to really show the violence of the martial arts. It was a
hmm
way, like, I enjoyed it, right? And like
right?
you're right, the our influences, you know, Sam or Jackie or whatever,
Of
even
course,
no matter how crazy the choreography is, and yeah, sure, people are doing stunts and stuff. You know, no one really died. Like, there's no blood or something, and it kind of like, you know, some of them just get punched in the face and they just rub it off like comically, and I thought that was
right, right.
better. And you know, doing a lot of these very
I think
hardcore.
people get excited when they see like action that is strong, but then they feel this release when they realize that, oh, the person is not hurt. So it's just a way of changing a movie that could pretty much make you feel bad than just because of the reaction to the violence. The
Right,
reaction
right,
to the violence, like he cut my hand, but it's growing again, right? So
right,
that the reaction, right? The
right,
reaction is
right,
like, oh, that's not real. That's actually fun. I would like to have that. So it's like,
right,
it's real fighting, but when people don't really get hurt, or the scene doesn't call for someone to be really hurt,
right,
then you don't feel that it is violent, right? I
right,
am not obviously taking myself away the opportunity to do other projects like more, serious or
sure,
gruesome, or maybe something eventually like, more like the raid or something like that, or high shutters or stuff like that. I'm down. It's fine. I can do it. It's not that I don't like it. I like it. It's just that I don't want to feel that I'm doing the same thing that
yes,
the other people are
Yeah.
doing.
yes, no, I agree exactly, and that's the thing too. So I think a couple, you know, I guess for a little bit, I had this feeling, or I guess it's just me personally. I feel like the people wouldn't take us seriously if we don't do anything that's more akin to the mainstream raid style, super hyper violent type of thing. And it's not that I can't do it; it's just that I think the what you were saying before, I guess like the choreography, like I put so much effort into it because like while we can't do full fledged stories and shorts, I want to show character development in the way that they fight and how they move. And there's actual, it's still like the Shakespearean three acts, right? And
Exactly.
people watch it. There is a point where in all of my fights, there's always like the the fighters are like matched. Then one fighter gets the advantage. Then the other fighter has to
Right.
think of a way, bring it back to their side, and it's there. It's very very obvious. And I choreograph and I tell Steph or whoever we're working with or Angela like how the pacing. I'm
Right.
very very particular about the pacing of my fights, which also in turn leads into the camera angles and all of that, right? So and people don't.
Actually, and it's funny because we've been here talking for a while about action movies, but we haven't talked about martial arts. Do you understand? It's like we're talking about a lot of things, and I don't know, but people that are audience, maybe sometimes they think like, oh, I want to see what martial art he practices, or I want to see this and that. To be honest, it's like when I heard recently, I was seeing Jackie again. I keep looking at Jackie's interviews, right? And I hear him say, I mean, it's my interpretation. There are many people that probably know him personally. Maybe they will say like, no, that's not what he wanted to say. But it comes across like when he says that he practices every martial art, it is more like he doesn't. He will not limit himself of putting something on film. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Right,
Because he wasn't really fighting. So if he wasn't really fighting, then the only way that you would say that you really practice martial arts is if you're going to intuitively react to someone else, like in real life,
right,
right?
right, right.
But people like us, we could say we practice every martial art because we represent whatever punching kick we like on camera. You understand?
Yeah,
For
I
our
think
artistic purposes, right? If you're asking me, hey, are you a good fighter? Well, I really don't know. I don't test myself like that.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
right,
But in
right.
terms of martial arts, well, I mean, I think I know a thing or two. At least artistically, I know how to bring
Yeah,
one punch or a technique together and then rehearse it until it looks like clean
yeah.
or it brings the effect that I want to have, right?
Because like I think film fighting is a martial art in its own, and
Yeah.
obviously it works,
Exactly.
in the universe that it's in. But you know, just to translate it, I think people would need to still train in something real to be able to translate into the movie format.
Totally, totally. I practiced a lot of acrobatics when I was young, and I have a lot of, I know how to move in that, jumping and all that. So when I started watching the martial art movies and the body language and, and all that shoulder thing and how to react, and you realize that it was more like soft movements instead of
Mm,
really, hard movements.
right.
And something that I enjoyed when we were filming in New York, I remember, and I know that AJ obviously worked with you guys, and she trained with you guys. She started that I fought with everybody there, and not to take anyone's talent away. When she threw the first punch and I blocked, I felt like, wow, I feel that. It's like, yes, this is the flow. This is what I'm
Yes.
getting used to. It's like this Beijing opera in which when you do this, you go that way. You don't block it. You just
Yes.
go with the flow. You go with the flow, and you try to give the effect for the camera. And it was so great to fight with her because she got it, and it was like we're not getting hurt, and it looks better
I feel
than
like
when someone really hits
right.
me.
Yeah.
So
Right, right,
yeah.
totally. Yeah, I mean, it's the fact that you are really hitting sometimes just messes the timing. Well,
Mm,
that's
mm,
what happens with me a lot. Like when for example, look at this. For me, the most important thing is the frame. If I don't have things in frame, I have a problem. So if I'm fighting someone, right, and I have to punch, and the punch needs to go there, right, and you need to see it before it goes. You need to see it,
right.
right?
Right.
But if I'm fighting someone and the person is really gonna block, it'll probably happen like this.
Right.
See? And then I throw the punch. The person, I have to block. They go down. No one saw the punch. It was never really framed. No one
Right.
saw the technique. No one saw the silhouette. No one saw the poster shot, right? The
Right.
one that we're
Right.
going to crop out and we're going to put on the poster, right? So
Right.
that's how I see it. Frame is the most important thing. But when people start hitting hard, then I don't frame my blocks the way they should. So if
Right.
I want to beat my block, I want the block to be right there in the center of the frame.
Ah, I
And
see.
the person reaches too low, then I'm blocking here. It's not a good frame.
I
So I need
understand.
to it needs to be here. Oh, and then the other person is here, right at the rule of thirds, right? Whatever.
Right.
Then the other person's here. Then it looks like a nice shot, right?
Right. Right. Right.
It looks like a nice shot. And then this space doesn't look weird because there's someone's going to be there. If
Right.
I'm alone and I'm going to frame a shot, then I have to do the silhouette to frame the shot. See? And now the shot is completely full. So the shot is completely full. It works only with me. And
Right.
then sometimes, for example, obviously, if someone's out of frame while they're fighting, you could be here talking, whatever. Then someone comes in, and then it becomes another shot, or you
Right.
go
Right.
out, and then it becomes another shot. So
Right.
for me, the most important thing is the shot before even the actual fighting. And recently, even the set is even more important. I learned a lot about that when I was shooting with Marco. They were doing this crazy location scouting, and man, it just makes one kick look so epic when you have an amazing background and
Yeah.
you are dressed
Right.
as a character. It
Yeah.
just feels different. Now it is not a normal people fighting. There's someone with a mission that is trying to achieve something. Everything looks bigger, even if it's the
Right.
same choreography.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think we started really learning that again. I mean, we knew it, but it's just now we're like, oh man, now we have to
Yeah.
kind of. But yeah, no, and it's kind of funny. It's like a different mindset. Like you're talking about framing. For me, particularly for action, I know obviously there are shots, there are frames that I want for technique, and there are frames that I want for the
Mhm.
poster shots, right? But with me personally,
Right.
I really like pacing. Like I as long like certain shots I would be kind of not as lenient as long as the audience understood and their brain adds up like, oh, that's what happened, even if they didn't see it, because I think in their head they see the poster shot, right? But yeah,
Right.
I think that's really awesome. Crap, like I love talking to you about like an actual filmmaking part, because I feel like there's not a lot of us that are both um like could be behind the camera and see what's in front, like even if we're just like even if we are in front, you know,
I
like
think it's because when I started off, everything it was always because of the movies. In my case, there are other people that probably they start first with martial arts, and then obviously when you start with the physical technique first, and while you don't learn to let go or understand the film language, which are there are a lot of people that they start off as martial artists, they understand film language and they pretty much adapt, they even become great coordinators. I mean, there's the people in every walks of life, doing everything. But usually, in my case, for example, I started off wanting to be a performer, and then as I was changing, the my little role models, right, I ended up wanting to be like literally like Jackie, because I
right,
thought that he had everything in one. Like he would look cool, but he wouldn't take himself seriously. But
yes,
at the same time, he could say something assertive, but he wouldn't look arrogant. And there's many things that I liked about him that I really aspire. Even though probably Jackie is not like the character of Jackie Chan, right? He is a normal person, and I am a normal person. I am never going to be able to be who I want, but I try, and I try to represent it on film, and hopefully other people get inspired, and then they aspire to do whatever they want, and that at least I think it could be a good contribution.
dude. I just want to say this just in case, right? But like, would you like to come back to the show for like multiple things? Like, you have
Yeah.
so much to
I
say,
don't
You
mind.
have
I love
so
it.
much knowledge and experience. And, like, you're always doing
I mean,
stuff too.
right?
I,
And
I
I think
mean, I really, I'm glad that you guys really appreciate all of this. Because I most of the stuff that I learn is just my way of interpreting things.
yeah,
I've always thought that at some point I do have in my heart probably I'll end up being at some point a teacher of some sort. I don't know. So that is something that probably subconsciously I'm preparing myself for. So that's why every time I have an experience, I just try to explain it myself to me, so
right,
that
right,
I can understand what happened. When I
yeah,
was filming
exactly.
with Marco recently, for example, man, I learned so much, and not about film, about everything,
Mm, mm, mm.
and for me, Marco is a hero, and it's like just like Scott Atkins or whatever, right? In my world. So when he called me in to work with him, I was like, you get excited, and when I was there, I started obviously looking at everything and seeing how his process or everybody else's process that I've been in the past, how does it match, right? What is he doing that I do? And man, I mean, for me, right, and this is in my situation, I see Marco as an elder, like a person that I've always wanted to be with him, because he's a Latin, right?
Right.
He's I From my experience and knowledge, I think in his category, he's the only Latin action actor that's ever lived. I think like
I
that.
Yeah, like that. Yeah,
There
definitely.
are other people. There are other people that from the past, but
Right,
but people that represent that spirit of Bruce Lee.
right.
And this guy is a martial artist. like, man, he could just do this and I died right there. It's a real martial artist. He's an entrepreneur. There was a lot of things that I saw that he was doing that most of them were related to martial arts, but I was seeing his success depended on things that were behind the scenes. I saw
Right,
how
right.
good an entrepreneur he was. I saw how he could, sell his ideas, move his work around, and people really respect him. And the fact that he was also a Latino, and I was there with him, I took a lot from that. And when I came here to Puerto Rico, I started, doing understanding, back and forth to what he was doing and what I was doing, and it was the same. It was the same, different styles of filming, but the rest is the same thing. They hustle the same. They try the same things. They're moving forward. They're creating on their own. He's doing that. That's his production. So I don't know. I was really inspired by that experience.
Dude,
Really.
I just love your enthusiasm for this
Yeah,
type of
you're
thing.
you're awesome. This is so like hype, and I feel like we could keep talking for like hours, but I don't think anybody would want to stay and listen for hours.
But we can break
But
it up.
yeah, but
We would love to have you.
would you be down to
Yeah.
come back?
Of course, yeah. Whenever you guys want, just let me know, and we'll try to. I'll try to explain people who I am a little bit better next time because I know
Ah,
that
it's all good.
we know each other for a while now, so
Right.
we just we get to the
Oh,
chase. Hey, how are you?
I know
yeah, I
How are you
love
doing?
it.
I know that you're doing this. No, you're
I
doing that. And
love
people are
it.
like, what are they? What?
Yeah, right.
So,
Yeah.
But no,
but
definitely, dude. I just want to say this before questions or whatever. But within the next like year or so, I'm gonna have you in front of my camera. I'm gonna
Yeah.
make that happen. You know that, right?
We
please do,
literally have been talking
please
about
do.
this the last like couple months because we're like planning a bunch of things, and we're just like, yeah, we just have to like if you're
Yeah, I
interested and
know
get
that.
you out here. Getting into questions, honestly, it seems like a lot of the questions or comments, everybody's like, I guess, fangirling, fanboying over you. They're like, oh my god, have my babies or whatever. They're like, oh my
What?
god, they can't
I
like I
guess.
can't handle his handsomeness. So yeah, I don't know.
Where is this?
It's like people are a little, y'all need to
No,
calm
no.
down. But yeah, there was like maybe one serious question from Colin Cameron. Thanks, Colin. He said, "Do you think the difference in weather and quality of light affects what and how you shoot compared to those in higher or lower latitudes?" That is a very specific
Wow.
question.
Well, yes, man. I mean, for sure. I'm gonna tell you something. Puerto Rico has very bad light. The sun is right there on top of me. Every shadow that you can think of, it is there. One thing that I'm doing recently, and this is something that I have to say because I feel that I have a responsibility with telling other people about my experience because if they want to try something, they don't have to cross the same river, right? But in my case, there are other areas in Puerto Rico down the south, down the west side that are better for lighting. But the north side, I'm from the north. It's very, very, very difficult. I mean, you can't get a shot if you don't have shadow. And recently, I've been just embracing the shadows. Literally, I've been
Hey,
watching some movies. I've been watching some movies in which they embrace the shadows. They have it. They have dark shadows, and they just make it work. Usually, Western movies they embrace the shadows. So I
Yeah.
said that what I'm gonna try to have that epic 2.35 feel widescreen shadowy Western feel, and I'll just try to roll with it, and we'll see what happens. But it is something that I'm experimenting with because I don't have. Sometimes when you're trying to do a project to prove a potential, you have to do it with no budget or with a little bit amount of budget. So you really
Right.
don't have big reflectors or big shades or whatever. But Puerto Rico has one thing that I love, and it's very beautiful outdoor locations.
thank you so much, Jose. Like, okay,
Thank you,
everybody that
guys.
is watching live or will watch this later when it is edited, check
Right.
out all of his links. He got his website, his YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. He's got so many things like going on.
Thank
Just
you.
follow him, keep up with him. We are definitely going to bring him back for when he
Yes, please
because
do.
I know he has a film in development bring him back to talk solely on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Yeah.
this is awesome. It is great to chat with you again. I think the last time we talked was probably like at UAS, and that was such a long time ago. Hopefully they can bring it
Right.
back and then we could all get together and meet again. But besides that, we'll bring you back here. We're gonna
Oh,
love.
yeah.
Thank
Thank you
you.
everybody that has tuned in, asked questions, and shared your love for Jose. You guys could look at his photos and videos on Instagram and YouTube. Go ahead over there, give him some love that way. But yeah, thank you so much, dude. Next time.
No, thank you guys. Yeah. Yeah. Bring me again, please. Please
Definitely.
do.
Yes. All right. Anyways, thanks
Thanks.
everybody for watching. Talk to you
Bye.
guys next time. Bye.
I
All right, guys, that was Jose Manuel. Really, really awesome. As you can see, he's very passionate about
gotta bring him
filmmaking.
back.
Yeah, definitely. He has like a lot of things to say creatively
And
and
he's got a lot of
and
things that
technical.
he's working on too. Like,
Right.
I feel like he's always working on stuff.
He is one of my favorite indie filmmakers. And, I was gonna segue this. And if you guys are also indie filmmakers and want to do how we do our fight scenes, then we do have a tutorial series called Do Ask Though Do, where we share with you our concepts and workflows on how we, do our action scenes here on Art School Dropouts. Now, it's definitely not how Hollywood does it, definitely not. But it is something that we have been using or been doing for the past few years when we put out action fight scenes every week, before obviously the pandemic and whatnot. But it's a tried and true formula for us, workflow really, to make action scenes a lot easier, a lot safer, a lot more efficient, while still keeping that, the core bang of your action scenes, right?
Yeah.
So please check it out. It's on asdofightscenes.com. Check it out, the tutorial and other things. Like also, if you guys if you guys also want to help us support us in another way besides Patreon and everything else, please consider grabbing our merch. Well, I'm the only. Well, this is from Judo.
This is from Judo Movement.
But yeah, please consider grabbing our merch. Please consider grabbing your merch on artschooldropouts.com. We have two things. It's the Senpai collection and the classic collection. Classic collection was like how our original stuff's very, team shirt stuff. Senpai collection, it's more, I have more creativity with the designs.
He goes crazy with it. Which, the Bao shirt is going to be on sale for the month of April, so check that out. It's so cute, and Bao's not here. Bao?
Bao's upstairs, actually.
Bao's upstairs. He's sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So definitely, please check it out. Thank you guys again for watching this month's Ask the Dropouts. We really appreciate everything that you guys do. Please consider liking, commenting, subscribing to our channel, because it lets the algorithm know that you like it, and maybe other people can see.
And then ring the bell. Actually, no, go to Discord, because you'll get the notifications way better of when we release videos every week.
But still, ring the bell.
Oh, yeah.
And subscribe. That's really important.
Ring the bell.
It would help us out. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah,